Hey, here we go. This is Copy Who, and I am your host, Paul, the producer. I'm the only one named Paul doing a show like this. It's called Copy Who for a reason. Welcome, everyone. It's no joke. I was running around here getting myself pumped up. On purpose, getting myself pumped up. And, making myself have goosebumps. There's this just energy I have now that I'm not especially happy about when doing the show. And it's because I shared with you guys I've been doing edible marijuana lately, and it has done wonders for me creatively as far as producing this show. I think it's been giving me all kinds of ideas that I've been implementing, which I think are great. But what I don't like is how it changes my performance energy on some level. Sometimes I get something good out of it, a good moment where my mind was thinking in a unique, original, off-kilter sort of way. And then other times I'm just like, nope, dude, don't like it. Don't like the way I'm feeling. And so one of the things I'm reckoning with is I have been consistently more and more reaching that mindset of oh, well, I've had my fun and it's time to give it up again. And not easy. As I've said, not easy being peasy, okay? So now I'm putting on the sunglasses over the prescription glasses, just like I explained last time what I'm doing with that. It looks cool, and I can see. I don't even have to increase the size of the text. So this is kind of cool. I get the effect of having sunglasses on, and I get the effect of being able to see as well with my prescription glasses on. Right now, spinning on, actually, I like to say screening, not spinning, because it's playing a movie, not being a DJ. Screening on Tracy Lee Samsung Theater is The Rainbow. And of course, today is my Rainbow Pride. Okay, it's Rainbow, the band with Richie Blackmore, who was amazing. And of course, my one and only, my favorite, Ronnie James Dio. So we go close up on copy. You see him sitting over there in Funko form right there, Ronnie James Dio. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm still learning to mix correctly. I feel like my energy is off, and regardless of that, my attitude is okay, today we're going to have a good time. I'm going to be high-level idiosyncratic energy for you. Yes, my Rainbow Pride right here. Rainbow Pride. Ronnie James Dio, one of the best ever singing this band. This is what brought him to everyone's attention, in my opinion. The greatest voice ever. Often compared to amazing singers like Freddie Mercury from Queen, the Italian opera singer, what's his name, Luciano Pavarotti, depending on if you're Anglo or you're Italian, how you pronounce that. Okay, I know that I'm classically off. It's my Rainbow Pride event. It's my Rainbow tribute. And so that's how the TV relates to the shirt today, is the band Rainbow and the Rainbow Club. Obviously not the same thing. I certainly thought about how I can get Ronnie James Dio, his documentary spinning on there while I do something. And I have another shirt that I might wear for that now. The two tie together. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm obsessing so much over the dumb things that don't matter. The dumb things that will not bring this project to a state that could be defined as success. It's obsession over little things instead of probably things that matter. And one of them is matching the t-shirt with the TV. And I'm thinking, probably no one cares that I'm doing that at all, but it's an art for me. And so going out and so doing the show, change of subject, segue into something else. Doing the show 3 times a week, the more obsessive I've become about it is becoming definitely a challenge, and I don't always want to do it. And so my thing is I don't want to force myself into doing it. I've been trying to ask myself, how can I be doing something on a regular basis? And so when no one's watching, doing it 3 times a week, it's a lot of moot extra work. So I'm trying to ask myself, what if I go once a week for an hour and a half and just pour my whole heart into it and just promote that 1 hour a week. And like I've told you guys, I do this for therapy. I do this for like personal therapy, just to put myself in a good mood, habituated in this context. I'm about having a good time. I don't want to make angry content. Some of you don't know that I've thrown away a couple episodes where I became way too angry and irate. And that must have been bad compared to the one I put up recently where I was angry, but I wasn't like sort of psychotic irate with shit. But it's real when I break down like that. But that's not what I want this to be. So what do I want it to be? I want it to be good. I want it to be compelling. I want it to be a place people are willing and wanting to come and hang just because it's cool and it's fun. I like to use the word goofy to describe what it is I'd like to do here. So what do? I obviously, it's all up to me how I decide to approach all of this. Some people have been telling me, what about going live? And yes, I think going live is good to build a community. And I'm self-conscious. Creatively, as an artist, I'm self-conscious, okay? Like, I think if I go live, what if then somebody starts saying some nasty shit and I have to manage that? Or when I'm live, my mind gets easily distracted. Some of you remember seeing me with my phone sitting here. And sometimes when my phone rings or I get a message, I get irritated because my mind is taken out of where my mind. So it's like I want my mind to be cosseted from the input of other people. If there's one thing you get here for sure, knowing this is not a live show, is that you're getting 100% me, unfiltered and unaltered by reading like a chat thread. And I have enough subscribers on YouTube to go live now. I've tested the live stream that it works. And another problem with going live is the copyright issues are more stringent. And so as I look at this recording from beginning to end as an art form, and it's arguable how great it is. When I say art, I'm not like Michelangelo, whatever. I look at it as an art form. And so when YouTube wants to cut into the stream and be like, hey, no, you're breaking these rules, we cut you off. I will get angry when I'm cut off because I'm just trying to do a show here. And so that's the beauty part. When I'm just recording onto my computer, the only person that can cut this off is a technical problem that's beyond being my fault or me. I'm the one who says, I'm stopping this now. But the question is paramount to me. What am I doing with my show now? I've obviously gone batshit crazy the last 6 months. For those who have been paying attention, if you look at the videos I started doing in December, compared to what I'm doing now, it's like, whoa, I've gone batshit crazy. Buying gear, used TVs where I can find them, and decorating my ass off, adding cameras, upgrading my computer. You don't even see that I upgraded the computer. The third angle I have up there in the corner of the room, hello, that wouldn't even be possible if I hadn't upgraded the computer because I was out of inputs on my iMac that I was using before that I have in my front room now, which I'm making into a Studio B area, hopefully that I will be productive in somehow someday, or at least have other people, while I'm in here doing something, they'll be over there doing something, and there'll be some kind of more synergistic role going on between myself and a eventual hopeful crew that I'll have around here. I don't want to be working forever alone here. And I want people to do this with me and take pride in it. And I would even offer people who become like contributors, maybe become like a partner role in this, so that if we wind up getting picked up somewhere and we go to some big network to do whatever the hell it is we're doing, I would gladly make people give them partnership interests in it. I don't want to just be the employer per se, although I do want to be the boss and the main driver of the vision. I am sort of soliciting myself for people out there right now. I want this to go somewhere. I want it to be something. I don't want to just work my ass off, pour my heart and soul into an hour, and then get like 5 views, which happened. It's still happening. But it's like, if I'm going to put all this hard work into it, then I should be trying to reap the proceeds of my hard work into something very special, memorable, growing, And I wouldn't call it a community yet. I have a handful of personal friends and family who are definitely somewhat keeping up with what I'm doing here. And even for them, they're busy people. It takes time to take an hour out of your week, or 3 hours in the case of what I'm doing here. Can I expect people to devote 3 hours to me every week? I mean, I'm not surprised if they don't, but I need more of like a crew atmosphere around here in order for that to be like viable, I think. So I'm overthinking things constantly here. That is what I do, by the way. It's part of my obsession, part of the drive to make things better. So what's the best way to do this show and get the best result is what I'm wondering. Go 3 times a week, go once a week. I need to come into it in the right mood, like I told you, just to reiterate that. I don't want to be, I don't want this to be a platform or a place where I complain. I don't want to make negative content here, angry content. My life is mostly a good life. I'm blessed in so many ways, but I'm like, my curse as a human being is overthinking things and troubling, like putting the weight of the world on my shoulders as if I can fix it or it's my fault, and that's not even the case. And so I suffer from a lack of confidence in certain areas, and I suffer from a lack of confidence in other areas. But I don't want the things in my life that are bothering me to be the prominent feature of this show. If anything, I want to keep my problems over there, dealing with them, not bothering you guys with them, and somehow bring entertainment here that is worthwhile for people to sit and enjoy and listen to and whatnot. All that good stuff. I think a lot lately about my moral worth. You know what I mean? In every sense of the word, I could say. In the spiritual sense, like I wonder what I contribute to this world that's good. I've given a lot of thought to, well, I'm acting like a jackass on here, but I want to be a good person. But then like I'm delving into the world of the secular that I don't have a lot of respect for. And so how to make something good and fresh and original and special and not offend the spiritual powers that be, in my case, God or whatever. Try to be consistent as a person here in a way that's not disgraceful. I'm trying to be fundamentally a good person. Even though I'm imperfect, I'm not claiming to be perfect. I strive for perfection. I'm always talking about striving for perfection on here. And for me to be a perfect person, I realize how unrealistic that is, but it is the journey of life for me to try to grow and be better at the things that I'm doing. Whatever all of that might be, whatever that means. I don't this is a general philosophical thought I was having recently, and it has to do with sinning in general. And if you're sinning, okay, the definition of sin technically is that that's bad. And I'm not arguing whether you agree with whether something should be considered a sin or not. But it's like sin in and of itself is bad enough. And so I tend to wonder, sometimes people pair up whatever they're doing with something edgy and sinful. And for some reason, the example that was coming to my mind was music groups and bands that play around with dark symbology like pentagrams or inverted crosses and things like that. And sometimes I wonder, with certain people, to what extent when you use those symbols, is that a genuine spiritual feeling and expression you're making, or are you doing it just to be sensational in the realm of show business to garner attention for whatever it is you're doing? Now, I'm wondering this because I think if you're just doing it for the attention in show business, to get people to notice you, since there's still some dark spiritual element, it could be construed as sinning, and it still makes me nervous. So like when I don't think Motley Crue are a bunch of Satanists. I think they're just some asshole guys who decided to use dark occult symbology to promote their music group. Dio has done it. All kinds of people have done it. Iron Maiden does it. And so I guess what I'm asking is like, I've also thought like, so you're sinning, you don't want to add to your sin unnecessarily. So like when I see people, I've seen people in pornography where they have like pentagrams right on the middle of their chest. And I'm thinking, I don't want to be reminded of that I'm sinning right now. So I'm sinning right now. Don't remind me that I'm sinning by putting a pentagram on the front of your chest, because then there becomes this, you're like, that is like pride right there. It's like, I am bad and I am being bad and I'm going to flout all the conceivable spiritual moral authorities of the world, of the universe, and I'm going to just, it's like so ego invested. It just bothers me. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense right now. So evil tattoos have a tendency to disturb me a little bit. I tend to wonder, what's the intention of that permanent marking you put on your body? Some people glorify God, which I think is okay, and certainly there is some kind of moral interpretation of anything someone puts on their body. I knew someone when I was younger put Bart Simpson on his arm, and I think it said Cowabunga Dude. And that guy eventually actually died from a horrible accident, but I was still thinking about, so everything you put on your body says something about how superficial you are. Everything you put on your body, it says something about someone who doesn't want to put anything on their body. I mean, like, I've thought about getting tattoos before. Are tattoos sinful? In and of itself, I don't think a tattoo is sinful. What does it say about the person who's able and willing to get any sort of tattoo? And I mean, what I mean by that is, what I was just saying is, depending on what tattoo you get, there's some kind of corresponding morality to the tattoos. Okay, so you could tattoo a swastika on your arm. You could tattoo a cross on your arm. You could tattoo Bart Simpson on your arm. It's really a testament to who the person is on some level. Clear throat, fade. In any case, you know what that means, actually. We're just going to kind of go like so. I think it's time to fill up my wah-wah. Because I'm having to clear my voice for you. In which case, we come over here. It's also the ritual for me. Back to the top. I don't know if anything I was just saying about sinning made any sense at all, but they were just like, so these are the weird things I was thinking before this, and I was like, this is what I want to go on here and talk about? I think so, because I'm a philosopher by nature. And I aspire to open minds up, not close them, to the truth, to the real truth. And you know, part of the truth is you have to de-invest your ego on some level to arrive at truth. And so humility plays a big role in it. Like, truth should not be arrogant. Truth doesn't even need to be arrogant. But sometimes people co-opt the truth and they try to wield it with arrogance. So what I'm saying might be true for a given individual, or for another person, not so much. Who the heck knows? I am thirsty. And that was a pretty good sort of segue into, we're about 20 minutes into the show. I'm going to clear my throat one more time. You know what part of the problem is with the throat right now is my little ritual before I start the show, where I run around and get all excited and overly I don't know, what do you call it? Overly passionate. I need to chill is what whoa. No, excuse me. That pisses me off. I almost had that perfectly. I was like, why am I hearing that? I thought I mistakenly hit a button over here, but I opened a video there. So I was like subtly trying to talk to you, and I had something on my mind that I was going to say, and the sound made me lose it. It's like, what was I thinking? I don't know. But I was trying to subtly get my things ready. Oh, I was going to write something down for this. We're going to endeavor to go through this new RISE today without saying the word RISE. I'm going to do my very best. That's what I'm going to tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm going to do my very best at this very moment to go through this moment and describe what is happening with the TV without using the word RISE. Rising. Because when the TV is rising, I don't want to be saying rise. It's like it's so weird backwards on here. Rising. TV rising is not what we want to say. So we're going to see if we can blast through this at 1,000,000 miles an hour without saying the word RISE. Anything but that. We describe what's going on in explicit detail, and we see for ourselves. So I'm going to come over here, and before I start this music here, I'm going to cut the lights and come on with this. Boom. All right, everybody, welcome. It's that time of day again. Ascend Television. Right now, what is happening is there is a 65-inch television that is slowly ascending from the floor because it's placed on a motor, and it's slowly ascending from the floor so that we can see it here at viewing level, at eye level, to review videos, to do commentary on videos. That's what it's all about, and I got through that without saying the you-know-what. But it did just you-know-what. So I can replace that word with you-know-what and say this was the ascension. This was so much satisfaction for me to get through that without saying what I should not have said. Woo-wee. And I've continued to do that. Lordy, lordy. The TV did just go between point A and point B. It is now at a different height. I can't mess with the thing without... never mind. So back to here then, everyone. Off with the light and on with... Do we got it? Okay. Sometimes I can't tell if the light actually... All right, then. What are we doing? We're closing that out for you, and we're coming back to normal. This is Copy Who. Welcome to Copy Who, everyone. We're only at 22 minutes, 35 seconds. Well, I'll be gosh darn. I guess I should have just talked more. I am still thirsty. I can just do a moment of gratuitous slurping on my... Oh my gosh, Ron Jeremy back there. That's the first time you've seen Ron Jeremy on here. And fortunately, not all of him, if you get my drift. I think he's still in jail, that poor guy. Ron Jeremy, what'd you do, buddy? He's not my buddy, but the first time I went to the Rainbow Bar and Grill that evening, I did see him hanging out there. In the spring of, it was, I believe, April of 2019, when I was out there for a few days, saw him hanging out in the Rainbow Bar and Grill. And I did not go say hi to him. I didn't bother him. This was before all of his sexual harassment, sexual assault became super public. And interestingly, he's accused of doing something at this very Rainbow Bar and Grill pub where I was hanging out. It didn't inspire me to start grabbing women or inviting them into other rooms when I don't know them or something. You know, when you go into a room and you're unfamiliar with someone, you should be filming the interaction on your cell phone if you're an honest person and you just want reality to speak for itself and for your behavior to speak for itself. But by golly, if you don't, then they can just make up some shit about you and any old shit about you, and that scares me a little bit. It does. I feel that my mood has slowly but surely improved during this show. I do feel that from the regular pot use that my mind is rubbed off and words that normally come to me easily are not coming to me easily, and I'm thinking about how to like keep subjects flowing from one to the next without seeming like I'm I don't know, losing the thread is my point. I'm losing the thread as I talk to you about the subject matter of losing the thread. And that is the statement that sort of validates the topic at the moment. that I can't keep the same shit in my head from one moment to the next the same way I do when I'm completely free of marijuana. Yes. Okay, so for the first thing, I want to look at this silly thing Ryan said. To continue to Rian Stone, when I just refer to Ryan, I'm referring to Rian Stone. So I'm going to actually bring you over to this other screen. Woo-wee! But we're not going to stay on this screen. We're going to go to Chat AP, I think is where you'll see this up here now. Oh, where did that go? Come back to me. There we go. So here's another thing that Rian Stone says. There is no such thing as community. It's called a common interest. Okay. Why? So this is another one of those, I'm Rian Stone and I want to be all clever and say some clever quip to impress people, but this isn't even clever. It's not even intelligent, in my opinion. So why invalidate? Of course there's a such thing as community. Like, this is not the only thing you say there's no such thing. You say there's no such thing as, it's not common sense. It's, see, I'm forgetting the thread again right now. Rian Stone says there's no such thing as, so right now he's saying there's no such thing as community. I disagree with that. What was it he said there's no such thing as before? It will come to me. I know you said something and my stony brain is forgetting. But why say there's no such thing as community when there obviously is? It's called a common interest. Yes, that's probably part of the definition of community. But saying that doesn't mean that there's therefore no such thing as community. So, it's common interest. Therefore, we have no need for this other word that we define as community. It's just another one of these things where I see Rian Stone as, I'm trying to seem like I say just something really smart. And even though it's not based in anything worth a hill of beans, he said there, I'm still obsessing about the other thing that will not come to my mind. He said there's no such thing as, it had to do with, it's not common sense. It's, people, we're going to fight this for a moment until we get it. What was I thinking about Rian Stone? He said there's no such thing as, and sort of like common sense, but that's not it. What's the other thing I'm forgetting? Stony brain. What the fuck are you forgetting right now? Rian Stone said there's no such thing as, it's like objectively evaluating details. What the hell is the expression to refer to it? We're not going on until I think of this. It's not common sense. It's about how you use reason towards something to, it's like objective thought. What the hell is the expression I'm not getting here? I'll tell you what, as soon as this expression comes into my mind, I'm going to celebrate like a mofo. So it's not common sense. We've determined it's not common sense, and anyone watching is going to be like, "What? Just go on." No, dude, I need to hold on to this and say, what the hell is it I'm forgetting? Someone listening might even know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay? Common sense. It's not common sense. I'm forgetting everything right now. It's horrible. Rian Stone says there's no such thing as. It's like when you're fucking approaching a skill. Critical thinking. That's it. Critical thinking. Oh my God. Look how much critical thinking I had to employ in my stony mind to get to the end point of trying to remember the phrase critical thinking. That's it. He said there's no such thing as critical thinking. And I just had to like move mountains of it to arrive at the statement critical thinking. Oh, that's crazy ironic. Very ironic to me. I was really just struggling for that. And I got in this stubborn mode here. I was about to go to another video and I'm like, I am not going on until I remember the expression critical thinking. So when Rian Stone says, Ryan, I'm not really mad at you. When Rian Stone says that there's no such thing as community, I'm Rian Stone, it's called common interest. You're doing that. You're not even using critical thinking skills in what you're saying. You're just baiting something with something silly. And you get 2,280 views for saying something like that. And 2 people bookmarked it. 58 people liked it. You tricked 58 people into liking this stupid statement. 8 retweets. Okay? Well, okay, sometimes you say insightful things, and I admit I like Rian Stone. I'm a fan of the Rian Stone, the one Rian Stone that I'm referring to right now. I'm sure there are others, but this one in particular, Manosphere guy. I got that amped energy right now, and I'm flowing on some level, but my mind is really fucking stony right now. So, moving right along to my next topic. Now that we remembered the expression critical thinking, I can use critical thinking to move forward in my show right now. And so this is something I want to watch just because I saw that who posted this up? Anomaly posted this up, and it's of some UFC fighter who has some views that are not going to be very popular with the woke ladies of the world, but I'm perfectly fine with what he's saying here. I will take you over to it. I just retrofitted my mix here. I'm pulling this up large for you, and we're going to listen to it right now.
Yeah, a really solid fucking guy. You know, like Brazilians, man, they have like this old school, like
Go
America,
on.
you guys. We're all a bunch of degenerate fucks.
So immediately, I do not, I don't appreciate what he's saying in this already. Like, because I don't generalize about there are 300 million Americans, more than that, and so many of them are good people, upstanding people. So I have a lot of criticisms of the United States, God knows, including especially government, and staunch criticisms where I'm just like F you mentality toward it. A lot of things that this man is probably certainly intelligent enough to understand. He's certainly strong enough to beat the hell out of me if I were rude to him, but I'm going to give it to you straight. Like, I'm just not going to generalize about the American public like that. I won't do that about any country in the world, because I do think everywhere, even in oppressed environments, some people wind up, because of the nature of humanity, being able to discern the bullshit around them. And so this guy, he's overly cynical, I guess, is what this demonstrates.
You know, like, I was talking to one guy, like I was joking about, you know, growing up and my dad fucking snorting oxys off the table and my mom trying to bang somebody, you know. And this foreigner comes up to me, UFC guy.
He's characterizing the world in terms of his own experience. He's very much just relating his interpretation to his own personal experience. Yes, of course, oh my God. The truth has so much to do with our own perspective. And that's lifted right out of something like Obi-Wan said. I'm not taking credit for Obi-Wan right here, right now. But yeah, dude, you rose up out of the mud, and I'm glad that he did. It seems like he's a better person. But I mean, like, I certainly hear the lack of refinement in this dude, although he's got balls to say what he wants to say. But I'm not even getting into the meat and potatoes of this really quick. Let's keep going.
Like, Sean, why would you disrespect yourself like that? I'm like, dude, do you know Americans? We are so royally fucked. Like, we have so much fucking degeneracy in our, like, who we are.
It's true. We are like Sodom and Gomorrah society. It's so true. I'm not even into the cool part of this clip yet, dude. And I feel so strongly in agreement with the sentiment, okay? But when it boils down to it, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on here. This is a country of hundreds of millions of people, so many different walks of life, and we can't just throw it all in a bag and say it's degeneracy. But yes, there's a lot of degeneracy here in the culture, in the society at large, the secular fucking main public square society at large is a lot of degeneracy. So I agree with you on the one hand, but I think you're going too far in generalizing it without backing it up with a little bit of perspective is all I'm saying, dude. Don't beat me up!
I can't even pretend not to be a white trash motherfucker. I look in the mirror and I wear a suit,
dude,
and I just think all the bad shit I've done, all the bad shit I've seen. I'm like, what do you...
No, man. And you just illustrated something profound about where you're coming from on this. It's that, dude, you just called yourself white trash. And to me, that says too much. Like, you're a person I'm liking, your ballsiness, the way you speak to the world in certain respects, but back it up a little bit, man. And so you called yourself white trash. Why? Like, why would you? That's like and a UFC guy, a tough guy who, if you insult this guy, he'll probably knock your block off. And so, but you called yourself white trash, and to me, that's like massively self-deprecating. It's like saying I'm a loser, and like, why would you? I just don't get it. I personally don't relate to that sentiment. Little disturbing. Keep going, dude. He hasn't even gotten into the meat and potatoes of this clip yet. I just have a lot to say about it.
Fucking doing, you loser. So forwarding to these fucking dirty Brazilians, it was nice, man. They have like a good community. They fucking barbecue. They hang out. It was like, it was some good whole.
I completely believe what he's saying about these Brazilians right now, but how is it you can't imagine? There are plenty of great Americans who barbecue, dude. And you'd probably enjoy the living shit out of yourself hanging out at one of their barbecues. So I don't understand. Of course, I believe you. There are probably so many wonderful Brazilians. Most of them are probably wonderful. And they're having barbecues. And you're there. You're enjoying it. You're having a wonderful experience. And then like me, I'm an American. I could have a barbecue and you could love the experience there too, right? I have some intelligent friends. We would all love having these discussions. And if this guy were to invite me to a barbecue, I would go because he has very high standards for barbecues, and I love those things for the food. And I would be like, please don't beat me up. If by any chance if there's a 1 in a million chance you heard what I said about you, don't beat me up. Let's just discuss it, sir. Okay? Keep going. Let's get those meat and potatoes digested.
Shit, man. Americans, we need to go back to like taking women out of the workforce, and maybe that's
these are the meat and potatoes. He's really making friends across the multiverse of anti-patriarchy. Dude, you're making lots of friends, is what I'm saying.
Maybe that's where we fucked up, you guys. We let women vote. No offense.
Oh Lordy, dude.
But let me no. I want to tell you guys something. Think about America prior to women voting.
When he's saying that, I want to see the audience reactions of the people in front of him. Like, I bet you there are women reporters there, and they're like, bah! And their heads are just like contorting into the profound, disturbed heads that they would upon hearing a man speaking the way this man is speaking right now.
Try to ban alcohol. I don't even drink, but I'm not trying to ban alcohol. So what you did, man, you let these women come in the workforce. Now we make less money. You got kids raising themselves on fucking TikTok. We need to go back to like 1942, especially after, maybe 1958 after we fucked up the Germans. We need to put women back in the kitchen. We need to take fucking, dude. Only one man needs to be working.
Not that I don't want women in the kitchen. So I'm laughing out loud. Don't think that means I don't agree with you. But it's like, I do believe women are more than the kitchen. In a family, I think it's perfectly fine for men to pitch in, women to pitch in, and also to have defined roles. Sometimes you're going to have different situations. But fundamentally, I'm not going to disagree with what this man is saying right now. In fact, I'm going to admire him. And I swear to God, if I'm ever invited to a barbecue, I will make it a point to come and visit you before our autonomous movement shuts down and I can't come see you anymore.
The man group, we need to elect somebody that's going to put women back in the kitchen, put one man working, raise the wages, and build a fucking wall.
Have you ever thought about going to therapy?
Right.
Sean?
For what?
What the fuck ever. See, so, like, the question assumes that he's fucked up for what he said just because you don't like what he's saying. Like, he needs therapy. This is toxic masculinity. We got to stop him from saying what he's saying. What do you think about therapy? And so he takes it in stride. So, like, you see how I'm different from the UFC fighter? I take offense to it. And I seriously felt anger and frustration upon hearing that man ask him about going to therapy. He's smiling about it, and I admire that. He's lighter hearted than I am because my instant reaction is like, oh, fuck you. fuck you. You think I need therapy? And I suppose if you respond the way that I just did, there might be an argument that I need therapy. But for the sake of entertainment right now, I wouldn't have this conversation in the same animated way hanging out in public. Today at your local kava bar, a psychotic man who does a podcast named Copy Who was arrested for getting up in people's faces and being like, no, with a sound effect and saying, fuck you. I don't do that. But on here I do that. And I'm being perfectly honest that I felt angry the moment that reporter asked him that question, because the reporter's already coming to it with a fallacious question, assuming what the reporter says is true. It's like this nasty way to express your opinion. Like, come on. I didn't think I was going to get stuck on this particular video for as long as I did, but
Ad in your background. I'm curious if you ever thought about going to therapy.
I don't know, man. Did you have good parents? Did no one touch you growing up?
Well, as try as I might know.
Oh, sure. All right, I was checking. No, man.
What? Is that over? Okay. That was good. All right, that was on, hey, get off my screen. You're killing my vibe. I was going to go down here. That's what I was doing down here. I didn't realize the video was going to end so soon. So I'm doing this. And it's not gratuitous if I really needed to wipe my nose. Yeah, you know what? It's really rude of me because do you know who gets to pick up those soiled tissues after I do that little routine there? I do. I don't have anyone else I live with to pick those up. So once more, I picked up the same tissue and I go, boom! Which was your favorite crash into the camera right now? I don't know. Which was my favorite crash? Clearing that throat frequently today. Here's another interesting interview with a famous celebrity, and I was like, this is interesting, and and so I definitely do think I want to make commentary on it, and the reason I'm saying that so strangely is I've been dwelling a little recently on hearing someone in my head say it's like stealing someone else's content when you're playing it on here, and I'm like, but it's reality, it's life, and I want to like react to culture, and so that's why I think that this is fair use with copyright laws. And so, of course, this is Barbara Walters. I think she passed away. Rest in peace, lady. But so here's an interesting discussion she left behind with 007 Sean Connery.
I mean a lot. Friendship with men.
Oh yeah, I like that. I think that's one of the pleasures of golf as well. I'm not mad. I don't like playing golf with women, no matter how good they are. I really don't.
Your wife plays golf.
She's a very good golfer, yeah.
You don't like to play with
her? It's a camaraderie thing. I bet you he would say the same thing about a great many activities if they were exclusively male activities.
I don't know.
Why not?
Because I don't like playing golf with women.
Why not?
I like the company of men better at golf.
Why?
It's very difficult to explain. It's just...
you know what? Whether or not there's a why to that, you can see how in the course of the interview, they're trying to frame him into a corner. And whether there's a why or not, the why is really none of your business. Even though he's in an interview, like I guess you're striving to have a good personal conversation here. That makes sense. But why does he even have to offer a why? It's a guy thing. I just feel like hanging out with guys. That's it, right?
It's more pleasurable playing golf with men than women.
Years ago, you did an interview, which made
I
him
think
back.
he could say more about it just like I did, that it's a camaraderie thing, being around guys that you have your way of bullshitting with and whatnot, and it's healthy. I think it's mentally healthy for guys to be off on their own sometimes and not be around women. Of course, those situations can manifest differently depending on the group you're in, but if I knew how to play golf, I would certainly have been delighted to play with Sean Connery and have that honor of being a man in the company of this man. And we don't want to golf with women. But to be honest with you, I could imagine golfing with women and enjoying it if they were really good at the game, and so were I. The problem is I wouldn't be. I would be the one who's not good enough at the game of golf.
aren't you? What, you know what I'm going to say, right?
No.
Okay. You did an interview in which you said, not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't love that.
He's unfazed. This man is great. He's unfazed.
My opinion.
You have.
So, excuse me, just the question I want to ask about that, which is what I thought when this video came up was, what a fucking hypocritical, stupid world we live in, first of all. And you know why? Because what's happening the last few years, all the fucking violence, turmoil, racism, unnecessary racism, manipulated racism through the prism of mainstream media, all the unjust things of the world, the war in Ukraine, the Afghanistan war, the way that winded down, all these fucked up things where people are hurt, people die. The worst conceivable thing happens, people die. And so here's a discussion about, well, slapping a woman on the face. Is there a point in time maybe when everyone at some point in their life, because of their behavior, because they were hysterical, because whatever, maybe they were in the wrong, maybe they did horrible things to people, that they deserve to be smacked in the face? Because we live in a world with all these externalities that are horrible and hurting people, people dying, and then you want to have a question like about smacking a woman on the face. Everyone at some point in life, no matter who they are, probably deserved a smack on the face. Now, am I saying it should have happened? Not necessarily, but I can't eliminate all of them from, possibly being necessary or character defining in a moment when you need to be corrected by someone, because young people, especially, they don't know shit. So it's like a jolt to the system that you can remember. And if doled out judiciously with the best of intentions, we're not talking about whacking people out of the blue for no reason. Of course, there's a such thing as an abusive person who's physically abusive to others unnecessarily, unjustly. But we're talking about somebody who just sometimes people deserve a smack. Should they get it? I don't know. But could it be positively character defining for those people? Hell yes, of course it could. I think that was a deep thought. I'm so out of it right now, I don't even know what I said. I do think it was worthwhile, though, in retrospect, even though I couldn't repeat back to what I just said to you. I think whatever.
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good. I
think it's bad.
See, that's the frame of the question there, which is what pissed me off with the reporter asking the guy before. You think it's good? Like, why would anyone say yes? It's good to hit so-and-so. It's never good. It's never something you want to do. Reminds me of my dad has this relative. I have this relative in Italy who's related to my dad. That's how I'm related to him. He said he doesn't like to slap his son, but sometimes it's like what you have to do. So it's not something you sadistically just want to come and do. Sometimes it's like you need to set someone straight and they need an abrupt induction, a counseling on what is right and wrong in this situation. And it's something, it's like a last resort type of, I need to make you understand, come hell or high water, that you're in the wrong here. And I'm not making an argument for people doing it. God knows I would much rather words always persevere with a more just outcome. Sometimes something harsh has to happen for the just outcome than to like prosper afterwards. That the way I'm speaking now, that wisdom could be applied to the war in Ukraine or something, but it's just best left as a philosophical thought at a given moment, I think. Because when you apply it then to something political, then all of a sudden you divide these people out. It's like, shouldn't the reason prevail? Can you put your feelings on the side there about the war or whatever it is and let the logic try to prevail? The logic should prevail. And I say it, let me say it emotionally. Damn, that logic should prevail. Logic should prevail. And I'm saying it ironically, very angrily, as a joke. For the ironic joke of it. Logic should prevail! There's a juxtapose there, okay? A brilliant, beautiful, artistic juxtapose being super angry. I am angry when logic does not prevail. I'm angry when logic does not prevail. Oh, yeah. Baby, yeah. Yeah. Hang out for a year. Is that anything to anyone but me when I'm angrily expressing logic should prevail? Logic! Logic! Is it wrong to hit a woman? Well, would the right answer be it depends. When is a good time to hit? Never is a good time. Like I was just explaining, you don't ever like want to do it. If you're a normal person, you don't want to do it. At least not like there should be. Oh, I could go down a whole. I just thought of a fork in the road talking about sadomasochism and stuff, but never mind. We won't go there. Just a little more of this because I am enjoying this. I did not think I would feel so much on these first two videos.
That bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again. And
she's just got her mouth really like gaping open.
Say it again. Word, and you give
Look
them
at her. Hold on. We need to. Hold on.
And
I want to see her mouth gape open, and I want to pause it there.
They don't.
Screenshot. She's like, "Oh my God, Sean Connery, Sean." Barbara Walters is like, Sean. Oh, Barbara. Hold on, I can't see sufficiently here. I'm gonna go, Barbara, my darling. It's okay. A man is having a traditional man view. It's all right, Barbara, my darling. It's okay. It'll be all right. You'll see. The world will prevail under the protection of good, strong men, and your ilk can just kind of back off a little bit while we save you, silly willies. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing this. It just is an obsession to have diarrhea of the mouth and let it pour out when you're caressing Barbara Walters. I actually find that I like caressing Barbara Walters. This is this is really too stony right now for most people to get, but I just keep wasting time caressing Barbara Walters on the top of her head in what was presumably 1987. I wonder if she could feel it at that given moment. Through the sands of time, can you feel at this given moment my energy on you at this time and place? Can I send this message, this feeling, this sentiment through a quantum field to get you to oh yes, beautiful woman. What? You know what? I'm forgetting myself. As I'm doing this, it's wonderful that I forget that I'm even doing this show. I'm just acting raw silly right now. And I go goof with those still shots, I tell you. I've only gotten a minute 22 seconds into this.
Word,
and I think I have something else.
Word, but they're not
Let me
happy
see.
with the last word. They want to say it again.
Oh, no, that was a different video.
Get into a really provocative situation. Then, I think it's absolutely right.
To give her a good slap.
Yeah, absolutely.
What if she gives you a good slap back?
Well, then you get into another area. I mean, then maybe she's getting to like it, and then it becomes something else. I don't know. But, no, seriously.
All right.
That,
no, you know what? Hats off to this guy, fucking Sean Connery. He's another one of those fucking when men were real men, those generations of people. I think of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin when I say things like that. Love those guys. To some extent, Johnny Carson. I acknowledge Johnny Carson. He makes me nervous. But thank you to Sean Connery. Thank you to all the real men of the world who are willing to say that. And by the way, I'm thanking them, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not man enough to to say that I'm part of the original man. I am corrupted in this contemporary era, but I do love that classic man look with Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sean Connery. This attitude is refreshing. Give her a slap, they say. But as I was saying, joking aside, everybody at some point behaves like a jackass who deserves a slap. And it's not just a dominance role. Sometimes people are fucking deserving a slap in the face. So I don't see why it could be such a horrible thing to say that in a world with war and disease and all kinds of horrible things happening constantly all over the world. You want to make it like a slap in the face. Yes, of course there's a such thing as a slap in the face that's wrong. Extremely rarely is probably the right thing to do. Extremely rarely. But I concede that sometimes I need a slap in the face. Sometimes a slap in the face is just what you need to learn how to behave in a situation. But if you it won't work if you're not dealing with a rational person. So like when Barbara says, "What if she slaps you back?" Well, then you have a problem, Barbara, because then the authority's out the window. It's like you can't be a man who's an authority over a woman who's gonna like attack the man. It just won't function. There's no authority there that's like, no, you can't do this. She's not compliant with the authority. She's not submitting to the authority. Whatever. Call me sexist. Whatever. I'm fucking sexist. Practically speaking, I never in a million years thought I would make it through this entire video today. Welcome to Copy Who, everyone. Hang out for a year. You know what I'm saying? If you think that what I'm doing is interesting now, I hope that it progresses to become better and better, even though, you know, so much has changed. And I don't know if I'm happy with today's show after having sat here and living through it. I have to watch it first to decide whether I really like what I did. And things are just never perfect, are they? They can never be perfect. But then, like, it's like surfing. It's like surfing a wave that's a little unpredictable here and there. It's a balancing act is the way I personally want to put it. So I go, ching, ching, chang. Ah, my lovies. Everyone who joined me today, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. I really enjoyed this one. It was strange. It was stony. And I'm not particularly happy with every aspect of that. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, expect more to come, I guess. Growing enhancement of the program, the show, everything. If you like the video, like it, please, for me. Subscribe, show it to your friends. Hang out with me during the premieres sometimes. I try to be there to answer questions. Really appreciate all of you. You're so swell. Honestly. Peace be with you all.